Well, hello there. Welcome to another video where we're going to be doing a dungeon run through Maraudon this time. You'll notice I actually changed up the level requirements for LFG so that dungeons actually last a little bit longer because there's relevant loot for players beyond certain levels. I guess if it were more vanilla-like, I would actually just take out the LFG tool. I do have a config option to disable that, but I am lazy and opt for the easy way. So once cat's out of the bag, it's like you can't get it back in. So we're going to go ahead and start with the purple crystals today. Gonna see how much I can actually get through. If I can't get through everything, it's probably because my wife came back with the kid. She's out for a couple of hours, so I figured I might as well just use this time to do a little bit of streaming. So let's get started. I got my trusty bots here who will be playing specific roles for the party. I do plan on doing this in Tyrannical and in Nullifying Tempest mode. Alrighty, so Tyrannical mode, I actually increased the mob health and damage. So we'll see how this is. I'm level 47 currently. Got pretty good gear. And of course a couple custom abilities. So Maraudon is actually a pretty unique dungeon. This was probably the first time that they used a teleporter to access various parts of the dungeon, or actually to access the dungeon itself. So to me, this was very much a step up in terms of design elements of the types of dungeons that we were used to seeing. The fact that it's so heavily entwined with centaurs too is actually pretty cool. You don't get many centaur type dungeons, so to speak. And even the last boss actually has a pretty unique model that you don't really see anywhere else in the game for the most part. She's actually connected to the... What is she connected to? I'm trying to remember. Let's see. My brain just stopped working on me. Anyway, so the inspiration here was actually kind of intense. So the design concept of Maraudon was primarily, obviously, crystal formations, but this was inspired by certain caves in Mexico, in the Amazon rainforest. And that blend of inspiration helped them design this instance, so yeah. Kind of cool. Probably one of my favorite dungeons. Probably least talked about dungeons in terms of World of Warcraft. But yeah. Now one of these days I'm going to find that blizzard spell. That's nice. I'm going to find that blizzard spell and I am going to fix it. I just need to find the name of it first. It's not too hard to look up, like I could look it up right now, but I think the issue is that it was either converted wrong or someone up-resed it too high. A lot of people, when they're up-resing assets, get a little too ambitious. And like I say, you should probably only up-res up to a maximum of like 4 times before the client craps out on you and gives you weird bugs. Same thing with the Stormwind flora. So those I'm sure some of you are aware that the flowers around the damn trees sometimes turn green. It's probably got to do with some conversion issue, but gotta find them first. Those patches were originally Kyle's patches, which he took from someone else. I think I have the original patches now, but I I just gotta search through them to make sure that they're a one-to-one before I try to implement open patches. So. Okay. Got a little ambitious there. Cool. And I'm trying to remember my way around the dungeon. It's a good thing that we have these dungeon maps, otherwise I'd get lost every time. I know that Atlas loot is a thing, but it's just a pain in the ass to look at because it doesn't have your cursor, your marker for where you're at. Back in my day, we didn't have no dungeon markers. Yeah, no, I'm seriously surprised that they didn't have dungeon maps earlier in the game. I guess they were trying to go for that exploration feel to things, but given that people were creating add-ons early on, it's kind of surprising that they didn't implement them sooner, because they didn't even implement them in Wrath, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong about that, but... Yep. Not too hard to implement yourself. So, finally reached Divine Storm. It's going to make things a little bit easier when it comes to AoE. Obviously I'm doing a crap ton of damage right now, but... some pretty damn good loot too. Let's see... did I actually kill a boss there? So, one of the reasons why I'm doing these older dungeons also is because I'm working on rebalancing, making things a little bit more interesting. Obviously I'm not doing some heavy rebalancing at the moment. I do eventually want to come back and add some new mechanics for things. I've done a little bit of that in Maraudon, but overall, you know, the iterations that I'm going over right now is just maybe adding a couple new spells, increasing mob health and damage, things like that. So I test all of it in tyrannical mode, so if it's not doable in tyrannical mode, then I know that there's a balancing issue, but... I don't know what dungeon... let's see... looks like I'm gonna refer to this anyway. This was... oh, I don't know. I don't know what boss that was. 4. Okay, I guess maybe that wasn't a boss? I don't know. Figure it out. Probably gotta pick up some of these ghost mushrooms as well, because there's not really a lot of places in the open world for ghost mushrooms. There's like one place in Hinterlands. I'm actually not too happy with Azeroth Core's node system. Like, there's either too many nodes in one zone or not enough. And some of them get like stacking nodes. I've spent a lot of time trying to fix that crap, but there's just so damn many, and if it was my choice, I'd probably cut the nodes in half. I know a lot of nodes got added to the game in later expansions, so it seems like they added more in TBC, more in Wrath. But for a single-player server too, it's kind of like way too many. I made a joke that I would make nodes randomly disappear from your map, but I actually kind of like the idea, to be honest. Belgarth, one of the developers for the repack, actually implemented a script for it and was having some fun with it, but it's pretty intensive in terms of like performance, so I would not recommend that implementation, at least. Maybe one day NPC bots that wander will gather and whatnot, but not today. Yeah, I remember this dungeon being a lot harder in Classic. So again, because of the power creep, we've got to do some rebalancing. I'm hoping that I get to level 60 sometime when my wife is on maternity leave, because at that point I'm going to be working on Hurok Shadowfang Keep. We actually, technically it's already in the game. If you go there in the repack, it's there. There's some mobs placed there as well, but nothing's like scripted out. I need to do some object placement, stuff like that, but I think it'd be nice to have some heroic dungeons. We'll probably start with some of the smaller ones like Scarlet Monastery and whatnot for level 60. Because those are pretty easy to implement at first. I like short and sweet dungeons. This music gives me some anxiety. I think Parkin actually commented on the music in Caves, and that's probably the same music. I don't think I disabled chat, did I? If I did, my bad. It just shows up differently today. Alright. My tank's still doing so much damage too. Alright, let's see. I got Ret Aura on. I do not have my buffs out, do I? Need to get Pally Power or something like that. Look at that damage. So I implemented a couple new inscription shoulder enchants. They'll be level 60. They require Skin of Shadow. They're just basic starter shoulder enchants. But at least it gives something new to inscription. And why am I still in combat? Okay, maybe I'm not. 30k health. Kind of curious what the mobs in Season of Mastery have for their raid encounter health. Let's see. Nomergon. Good. I got a dagger. Useless. Let's see. I don't even have a hunter. It'll be good to have those pants for later, though. Let's look at... I want to look at the health of... So, Grubbis, how much health do you have? Only 5,000? That can't be right. Hold on. There's no way that's right, because they're doing so much damage. These are probably old values, I'm betting. Usually they're pretty good about updating their entries, though. Let's see. That's okay. Okay. Let's keep going. Curious to see how Season of Discovery is going to handle Maraudon and like DM North and East and whatnot, since they were added so late in the game. Or later on in the game, I should say. It seems like the power creep that they got on Season of Discovery is also pretty intense. Like, some of the items that drop out of Nomergon are on par with level 60 gear that you get in Molten Core, so it's just interesting. Because after a certain point, once you reach like certain... I mean, I guess the benefits to vanilla WoW is that they used percentages for their stats rather than like crit rating, haste rating, stuff like that. So you didn't typically see more than like 3% crit rating on a single item. 3% crit, I should say. Remember these guys hurting quite a bit, but I've got a Disc Priest in my group. It does seem like tanks take less AoE damage and bots in general. I want to look at the code for that, because I really don't like that as a mechanic, especially when they move out of AoE. But if I could at least decrease the amount of protection they get from AoE or whatever it is, that would be nice. Just makes it feel a little bit more challenging, I guess. Let's just send it. I kind of want to... Yeah, let's see how much damage he takes. He takes okay damage once his shield is down. Yeah. Still, I'm pretty sure there's reduced damage for an avoidance for AoE. Which some of that's okay. I just think it's a bit much. In fact, some of it's necessary because they don't move out of every single AoE ability, but still, got way too much crap on me. I think I started on the harder side, actually. Oh, my tank's not with me. Hold on. Keep going. Yeah, I mean, Tyrannical doesn't seem like it's too bad in lower level dungeons, but it definitely hurts in raids. Raids I've definitely balanced out a lot more around the power creep that we have, but also actually playing on lower config rates, so than I normally do. For damage and health. Man. Oh, I also did something cool today. So, for example, you'll see Cassandra's Grace right now is BOE. Right now in the repack, if you equip a bot with a piece of BOE gear and you take it back, it's still BOE, but I decided to get rid of some fun. So, equipped that. I'm going to re-equip the circlet. Now it's soulbound. So, it was actually pretty simple. Just had to set the item binding to true once you give them gear. So, not too bad. I guess why would you care about that when bots can, you know, equip BOP gear? For me, it's probably a matter of like being able to resell stuff back on the auction house once you're done with it. I don't know. Just a little bit more realism, I guess. Ooh. Alright. Let's do... I'll do a big pull. Come on. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that big of a pull. Shoot. Okay. Let's do... Sorry, I'm doing some management here. See, they're moving out of AoE just fine. Ugh, so much junk in my bags. This is what happens when you set your bots to auto-loot everything. In fact, let's change looting to not pick up gray items. I think I have her set to looting too. Okay, cool. No gray items. Yeah, I mean that AoE feels about right. So, that's good. Just sometimes I feel like bots are too good for their own good. Like, they're so good at interrupting. You don't even have to worry about interrupt mechanics, like 90% of the time. Should probably get some mana. Right now I have 2 mana trinkets. Earthen Sigil, Jade Owl. Because I can't sit and drink, otherwise I lose the diet mode challenge, so... I also just nerfed the racials for High Elves a little bit. I don't know if I actually put them in my DB Files client yet. Let's see, so... Got Elven Duelist, Expertise by 4. I think that I changed that to 3. I can't remember though. Let's see. Yeah, so regen 5% mana rather than 8% before. Trying to rebalance things. Sometimes I go a bit crazy initially, just because I get excited about new racials. and then later come to the realization that, yeah, that's a little bit overpowered. I think it's funny that I keep getting power infused. We have 2 other casters, man. Working a bit backwards here, but that's okay. Make sure... Sorry, I'm checking some settings real quick. Okay. Actually, it might be good to do some camera tools. Ooh, Gut Ripper. Screen glow up a little bit. Cool. We've been testing a new Vulcan type deal for the client just to see how stability is. This next update is kind of heavy in terms of resource management, because we got a lot of updated and upscaled assets, so doing everything we can to make sure that we don't get client crashes due to a lack of memory. So far seems to be doing pretty good. Barbed Lasher. These guys are nasty. That AoE stun is just a pain. Keep forgetting that I even have Hammer of Wrath, to be honest. Since it's such a new ability. Grab this. Love how good mages are when it comes to using Blizzard. It's nice. Still need to fix that issue with large roots on frickin' Void Elves. Sure, it's an easy fix if you know where to find it, but that's like the biggest thing with coding. Like, everything's easy if you know where to find the information, but half the time it's finding the damn line of code to do it. For the longest time, Azeroth Core had some really unresponsive gossip menus. It took them like 3 years to remove one line of code to fix the issue. Like, it's just a little bit silly sometimes. Probably gonna do a check for tanks so that they don't tell me that they're low on mana, because I really don't care about tank mana. Oh, I've got no bag space. Ooh, nature resistance boots. Those will be nice for AQ. Those damn oozes, they drop so much junk. Got a freaking peace bloom in my bags. Power infusion again? Come on. Kind of sad how useless scrolls are now that they don't stack with other things. Kind of like, thought about revamping the whole scroll thing. Just don't have any good ideas for it yet. Maybe give periodic effects or something like that. Cool. Alrighty. Oh, I'm just gonna go the right way. So here's Mangos at the moment. Actually, with their player bots, they have the ability to jump. Kind of cool. There was someone who was doing max 40 runs with the player bots legitimately, or at least mostly legitimately. They had to disable a couple abilities, but interesting to see some of the spread mechanics they have. At the moment, the only spread command we have is this spread command, essentially. And it looks a little bit funny. Spread 5. Spread 2. Yeah. I could make them run or walk, but jumping to those areas makes it a lot more responsive. I'd rather have responsiveness over realism, at least when it comes to NPC bots. I feel like NPC bots in general were made for combat, so... Oh. Kill it faster. So nice thing about easy collections now, at least, is you get to see which items you've equipped and which ones you haven't. I just wish the load up time on it wasn't so crazy. But that's the problem we have because we don't cache our client info. And that's really to save on data, so just automatically clearing the cache is extremely beneficial for custom content. This is such a cool dungeon, man. Super big props to whoever designed it. Got so much going on, like... At least 3 different biomes. hell, it's like epic dropping all day. I don't even have my rates set to drop super high. Remember when I was playing on Elysium or Nostalrius, one of the two, the Sunken Temple for some reason just had really high rare drops, or epic drops rather. Silly. Let's see. That's such a good weapon too. Where'd it go? Alright. They even have the big grubs scripted out. Let's find out. I think this is the first boss anyway, technically. I don't need to go any more further to the right. Bots didn't keep moving over there, I wouldn't keep pulling shit. Yeah, I feel like that should have more stacks. Again, bots are just sometimes too good when it comes to dispelling and stuff. Alright, we got the trinket. Again, that's good for AQ. I don't think at the moment really you need that much resistance for AQ, but it'd be fun. Let's see, where do we want to jump down? I kind of want to hide my bots. Jump down over there. Still can't decide if one-handed weapons for paladins during leveling is actually worth it or not. I guess if you're fighting low-level targets or you have more hit rating, then it's great, but for a while there it did feel a little bit overpowered, but switching back and forth between two one-handers and just a single two-hander has been yielding about the same results ever since I made that talent change, but okay. Part of me wants to make Divine Steed baseline, because I think it would be very beneficial for tanks. But I mean, the question is, what do I put in place of Divine Steed and the talents? Since Crusader Strike is now just baseline. I don't know. Just getting some mana back real quick. Yeah, totally tore through Celebros. Curious how the later dungeon bosses are going to be. Got about 30 minutes to find out. More nature resist. Okay, good. Oh, too much crap again. Start disenchanting some stuff. Yeah, I sped up disenchanting. A couple things I sped up. I don't mind long crafting times for the most part, but there's certain things where I'm just like, I don't need to be sitting there crafting copper ore for 20 seconds. And it's like a one-by-one thing. I can't just do a global change to crafting cast times, so... For vanilla, it'd be a lot easier because the haste actually affected your craft times, but I don't think they do, at least on Azeroth Core, last I checked, which has been a while. Kind of want to add, let me add a reagent bank over here. I've been slowly adding reagent bankers inside of dungeons, just to make life easier. Tend to get a lot more loot when you're the only one getting any, so... Usually there's a more appropriate place to put things, but... Can I just hide them? Good luck finding them all. Alright, next half of the dungeon. Never really looked underneath. Cool. The screen glow is probably, the increased screen glow effect is making that look a little bit wonky, but... What do you guys think? We should do another challenge? Let's do Echoing Enfeeblement. Reduces... Oh, I just respawned all the dungeon creatures. Reduces healing and damage done periodically. Like I said, I've been working on actually putting in rewards for challenge modes, but it just takes time. I really need to come up with an event caller, though, for the rewards, just because there's a lot of bosses that are scripted through smart AI rather than C++, so it makes it a little bit more of a pain to reward. but just have to have a spell of some sort. I don't know. Check on death. Okay, so silence combined with enfeeblement is probably not a good thing. Eh. I don't think I've gotten enfeeblement yet. Let's see. Lots have, but yeah, I forgot about those guys. Yep, just got it. Need to come up with more challenges. Right now, all of the challenges are pretty much aura-based. I'm trying to keep them something that you can do for all levels of dungeons. I can filter them out whether it's a raid or a dungeon, but it would be nice to have things that scale with level rather than just challenges for level 60 only, or 70 or 80. There's a spell visual for volcanic that I would like to use. I really like the volcanic affix. But yeah, randomizing the periodic effects is actually not too hard. You have to script it in to prevent default actions 50% of the time or 25% of the time to make it feel more random, rather than happen every 6 seconds or whatever. Nice sheep. Where are you going? Alright. Honestly, when you're playing with bots, it's less about what damage you're doing and more about how you're managing your bots anyway. You could sit there and practically do nothing if you wanted to, as long as you're managing your bots properly. Which, is more fun for some and less fun for other people, but makes you feel more like an RTS, I guess. This constant silence is so annoying. I'm thinking about other ways to implement Sanguine and other Mythic Plus affixes, I guess you could say, from Live. I really like some of the ones that we had in Legion, so teaming would be an interesting one to do. Just thinking off the top of my head how I would do that, but I'm trying to remember. I think there's you know what, let's go up this way first. I think we can do that, right? Really don't remember. I remember doing this place a lot for the sword, but for my mage, I don't remember exactly where to go. Let's see. Yeah, so that's the Earth boss. Up yonder. So much health. Alright. And it's always more than you think there is. Yeah, as far as teaming goes, it actually wouldn't be too bad. What you do is you have the script iterate through all the creatures in the instance, skip over bosses, and summon copies of said creatures within like a 3-yard radius of the first one. So I'll be looking into that. But more trash has never been too terribly exciting. I would like to add some timers to the challenges as well, but again, each dungeon is going to be different. So I'll have to figure that out. It'd be really easy to do a timer with like an aura or something that you could track. But as far as the UI goes, UI stuff is really one of my biggest weaknesses. I haven't really taken the time to learn how to implement new custom UI stuff like easy collections, right? Like that's completely new. But other people have done it, and I think Belgarth has been working on it. He's been working a lot more on Emerald Dream lately though. So that's good that we have progress there. But yeah, he's been mostly redoing the I guess pretty much everything in Emerald Dream actually. Because we realized that we didn't have like linear dungeons, and the space we did have for dungeons was kind of meh. The open space for Emerald Dream itself was also not very linear, and it kind of made things a little bit challenging when it came to like assigning quests and stuff like that. So we just wanted to add a little bit more linearity to the map overall and expand some of the areas for the dungeons. So alright, 31,000 health. Pick up aggro, come on. Forgot how long that stun is. That's nuts, okay. I don't think I can stun this boss, can I? Yeah, I can. Okay. I'm gonna remove that too. I hate it when bosses are stunnable. Unless there's a good reason for it, like the faction champs. I'm gonna die here, probably. Okay, maybe not. Got a shield. Except now he can't hold aggro. Awesome. Good drops, actually. Well, the helmet at least is good for nature resist when we get to Sunken Temple. Or not Sunken Temple. EQ. Guess those aren't that great of drops. Seemed like it was pretty good drops, but does he normally drop? That's the question. Yeah, I mean, most of the time it's pretty crap, except for those. Those gloves are pretty good for hunters. But yeah, this sword, back when it was Prebis, for casters, was really nice to have. Now I'm trying to remember which way to go. Think it's okay to go this way? Is that the way it came? Hold on. We're gonna find out. And I don't really run this dungeon a whole lot, but one of my favorites, but still. It's not like Sunken Temple, which I know basically like the back of my hand. I used to go in there in Burning Crusade and level up my alts on a separate account, like carrying them with my main character. I was so sad when they gutted the dungeon too during Cataclysm. I think trying to make things more linear in Cataclysm was probably one of the biggest mistakes they made. So, yep, this is the right way. Okay. I'm going to see if I can cheat a little bit and skip some of the trash. Obviously, I'm going to have to clear them out on my way back up. But maybe I can teleport out and back in. The problem is that I queued for the other side, so maybe not. I'm going to make you guys stay for now, though. Hopefully my bots give me a slow fall. I guess I could have asked for one, but I'd die here probably. Let's move my healer out. Just trying to do a bit of repair. Alright, you guys need to be out of this AoE silence. Well, my tank tried picking him up, but see about maybe skipping this next pack as well. I got one patrol. I don't remember how far he goes back, but see. Just have everyone stand still. That was almost perfect placement. Now I don't know if it's more beneficial to go this way, or if I should go past all those crocs again, because I really hate that AoE silence. I almost want to replace it, in fact. Like, I'd rather them do some other random ability than that stupid AoE silence. Oh nice, we got the sword too. And the rifle. Some of this stuff I'm just going to shove in my bank because I'm going to need to outfit like 5 other bots anyway, so... Let's just keep going. Easy peasy. Yeah, I think this was definitely where I needed to go, so I'm glad I went this way. Oh, I love that shield. Actually, my shaman needs a new shield, so that's perfect. She's been using this like 3 spell power shield for 20 plus levels, so... Oh, I guess it's 7 spell power. Well... Part of me wants to replace it anyway, but... maybe not. Alright, whatever. Who cares? Just such a good shield. Might have to nerf it. It's a custom item from a rare, but... And the rare isn't too challenging anyway, so... Oops. This is why it's probably a good idea to put timers on weak auras, because otherwise you start casting exorcism when you're not supposed to. Let's go to... Actually, I'm going to see if I can skip this too. I could probably skip it, I just need to make the jump. Perfect. We'll just pull a bunch of things again. Maybe this was not the right way. Okay, why are you guys not following? Like, my bots left me in the dust, come on. That's okay. Well, at least they gotta skip 2 trash. I swear I hit the recall button, but maybe not. I feel like priest mana is probably a little too good. There's actually a baked-in buff for priests and their mana. Might have to lower it a little bit. Skipping bot. Okay. And I need might. Maybe this was the totally wrong way to go. Yeah, it totally was. Okay, I backtracked, but that's okay. We'll go back to where we went. Okay, so this is actually the bottom. Like... Oh my heck. So we do have to kill those crocs again. That's fun. Oh, come on. Don't freeze them back there. I think I'm out of combat, but we'll find out. Ah. That's what happens when you're too low level. You don't use your holy leap to get across. See, if you were a rogue and grappling hook were enabled in dungeons, you could skip so much trash. You could actually enable it in dungeons if you want to. It's part of a Lewis script. So, if anyone's curious about that, you just look for grappling hook or rogue ability or something. I don't remember the name of the script, but I should probably move it to a spell script one of these days for performance. Kind of went a little crazy with Lua in the beginning. And have been converting as much as I can to C++. It's just... Oh. Don't pull the third. I'll move you back. But that was a good little adventure, I guess. Really hope the axe drops off the last boss, the crocodile. But I think the axe I'm stuck with right now is going to be what I use until max level, just because the hit rating. We'll see. At some point it's more beneficial to just get something else, but yeah, these used to be good gold farming mobs for AoE farming. I used to spend all day in here on my mage. That's the ugliest sword I've ever seen. Like who approved that sword? That's what I want to know. Who on the design team was like, yeah, that sword's good. We're good. It's just basically a flat orange board. Okay, Mr. Priest. Move you out of the way, please. Why are you still in the range of that? Still haven't decided if that glyph is too overpowered for the instant flash heal with the 6-second cooldown. I might have to knock it down to 25% rather than 50. but I like it as a glyph. I think it's fantastic. Oh, and I also updated the UI so that it actually shows you when your next glyphs are unlocked. I was having a hard time trying to find the damn string, but it's in global strings frame, so... It's actually the biggest challenge with Inscription is the fact that I have all those damn glyphs available by level 60, and after 60 it's like, what do you do? And so I don't want to take things off the vendor for the glyph vendor, simply because I'd have to remove or just move around, right, all those spells so that they're learnable by level 60, and then I'd have to figure out things to do for level 70 to 80. And plus, a lot of the glyphs are filtered out in the auction house if all you're doing is vanilla. The auction house bot is nice that way, but its filtering process is not complex. So, I'm getting lost again. I am getting lost again. Every time. Okay, so don't cross the bridge. No. Alright, so I did cross the bridge once. That led me up there. So I go through here. Yeah, now you give me slow fall. And I swear there's another way. I remember there being another way. Isn't my brain working? Okay, we already came this way. Hmm. And these maps just suck. And I suck at reading them. So... Okay. 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 Going the right way this time. Go this way. Here I am, being happy about the dungeon maps, and I'm not even using them. My kid's gonna get home soon. Nice little break though. Having another kid next week, so that'll be fun. 2 kids to manage. I actually like newborns. Newborns are pretty fun. They're a lot easier to manage in some ways. I guess the first couple weeks you don't get any sleep anyway, but all they do is eat and poop and sleep anyway, so it's when they start to crawl around and walk around and get into crap that they're not supposed to. That's like, yeah. Okay, so more of these damn croc things. I think this is the last one though, so hopefully... Yes, last ones. Okay. Now we have to do just the big boys. Yeah, that's why I have a hard time believing the Nomergon health values from Wowhead. I mean, I know that certain boss fights are phased, so they don't... I don't know. I'll look at it again, I guess. But just gotta look at some live streams or something. So much health. Alright, just 4 more of these. Maybe I should pull them all together. Let's do that. What could go wrong? Oh. Hold them separate, huh? I think those are technically supposed to be on a creature pool that pull at the same time, but I guess it's not that big of a deal. It's super easy to fix, but... Alright, almost to the last boss, and then we'll do the bonus boss. She was always super fun to solo as well, as a mage or a hunter. Some bosses are just really fun to solo. I would say she's one of the best. If you're ranged. If you're melee, not so much, but... right through the asset. This is why we need Tremor Totem. I don't think you get it at this level, though. I think it's level 60, maybe? Oh, come on. Can't even hit her. She's not stunnable, right? Oh, nope, good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably end up doing some more pushback mechanics on certain fights where you have to run back and forth. And look, one of the Blackstone rings dropped. And it bonus rolled 6 stamina. That sucks. That's the other thing that dropped. Useless dagger. Actually not bad for a healer, but definitely better options in Blackrock Depths. Should probably pick up that quest behind me before I jump down. Such a cool dungeon, man. Like, I want to see what it looks like from above. Let's see. Yeah, smoke and mirrors. That's what it is. That's kind of funny. Alright, perfect timing. Wife and kid just got home. We're gonna kill this one boss, and then we are moving on. Hopefully the axe drops. Nice if that dropped the first time around. It's a big croc. And it didn't drop. But, as you can hear, my kid's home, so thanks guys for tuning in to the stream. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you on the other side of Azeroth.